Life can be overwhelming with the stress, the anxiety, and so many people are feeling discouraged. That's why we need those special individuals who have such a great gift to be able to uplift others and remind them that they have the strength that they need. My next guest is exactly that type of person. She wears so many hats from social worker, community outreach person, public speaker, fashion enthusiast, and so much more. Today, we're going to explore her story and find out ways that you can actually help her achieve those goals. And of course, while we're here, we might as well just shoot. Why not? Welcome to Shoot the Shh. Ready?
Not at all.
Not at all.
I am not at all ready for that.
All right.
I don't know what that is.
Trust me, you'll find that being a
I'm
lot.
intimidated.
In this episode, Mrs. Trouble is guiding her guests in facing her fears on dealing with these firearms. All right, so welcome you guys back to this show here. Today, my guest, Miss Queenie, is going to blow your mind with all the things that she is helping others to do in the community. I mean, when her and I first met, I was just blown away by your personality. The fact that you led the event that I attended with such grace and elegance, and I was just like drawn. I was like, I gotta meet this lady. Who is she? What is she doing up here? Why is she here? And what is her passion? Because it is just oozing out of you the love that you have for others and the compassion. And I said, I had to talk to you. I had to figure this out. So I wanted to share this with my guests because I know so many people are looking at this channel. So many ladies out here need such encouragement to be able to live their dreams. They need to be able to overcome obstacles, and they need people like you to help encourage that. So if you could just give us a quick snippet of what things you have going on.
Oh gosh. First of all, thank you for this opportunity and those kind words. The things that I have going on, what do I not have going on? It's interesting you asked it because I feel like personally I don't have anything going on, but then I think about it, I'm like, I have things going on for everyone else, right? So um I have a lot of support going on, right? Different events that are happening. We just launched the Real Sisters, Real Friends program or site. This is something I've been birthing for like 20 plus years, and we finally I guess I would say a group. We finally launched that group. Um I still have the whole project. I still got that going on, which is a volunteer, kind of a volunteer space where we create opportunities for individuals to get involved in our community. I'm still helping the homeless community out with needs, like immediate needs, whether it's, someone maybe need clothing, or they need food, or they need sanitary products. I'm doing that. I just partnered with an organization in Africa where we will be participating in providing sanitary napkins for women and girls
Nice.
in two other villages over in Ghana. So we have a big health and wellness event coming up in December. So you name it, I have my hands in a lot of things, and it really is just to support others. I'm blessed by it because I know what it's like not to have. I know what it's like to need and not know where to go and ask. And so I like being the approachable person that comes into the room and like, hey, if I got information I can help you, then yeah, here's my number.
Right.
Reach out. So what do I have going on? A lot going on.
Yes, it sounds like it.
A
So,
lot.
all right, what I would like to ask too is, I mean, I know that you're a social worker by trade, okay? And that obviously was probably a nice connection and segue for you as far as the community outreach services that you provide. But what was that thing? Was it a certain one thing that kind of pushed you to say, okay, outside of what I do on a regular basis, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and X, Y, Z because I see this as a need here.
Sure. Well, funny, I was actually a hairstylist for like 20 years.
Okay.
And I still dabble in hair from time to time, not in a salon anymore, but I was in a salon for years, and I always wanted wherever I work to be the center of the community, right? People can come and build relationships, and not just relationships, they could connect with individuals, they could have their needs met, they could look amazing, they could find out whatever was going on in the town, in the area. And so no matter where I work, that's kind of the environment that I help to create, right?
Right.
And so whenever I went through a divorce, I was like, okay, I need to get out of the hair business because my kids were at a certain age that I really wanted to be more involved, because the salon was great, but I need to be there all the time.
Right.
So I went back to school, and I had to really just search within myself, like, what is it that I love doing? Well, I'm good at helping people. I'm really good at bringing people together. I am good at bridging communities to resources. And so going into like human services field, social work, sociology, all that made sense.
Okay.
And so that was really it. I was just like, I'm not an IT girl, right? I'm like, I need to be on boots on the ground.
Right.
Y'all get it. I need to do that. So I went into case management first, and um, I just saw needs in the
Yeah.
community. And so even though I was getting paid to do this, I'd leave work and I'm still in the community, you know, volunteering. Yeah, I just realized that my heart was bigger than that moment. And so I needed to find ways that it could just live on and on and on no matter what.
What feelings do you have towards firearms?
So my feelings towards firearms, I feel that they're necessary. That's not, you know, a thing. But my comfort level with uh, using them is not so super comfortable. And I do believe that comes from when I was younger, a teenager. And one, I lived around guns, like they were just in the neighborhood, which I just hated. And then I remember like totally accidentally picking up a loaded gun and running outside with my friends. And I think, I mean, to me, I almost, you know, fired that gun and I could have shot one of my friends. And I think that scared me so bad that I was like, I'm done. I'm never picking up a gun.
Yes. Yes.
Never doing that again. And I've gone to the range. I've gone to the range to try to get over that and to, you know, just understand how to handle a gun properly. I mean, we're talking probably 30 years ago when that happened. So for the last 10, 15 years, I'll come to the range, pick it up, like, okay.
Yeah.
But if it's too much noise out here,
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, I can't take it. There's too much noise. There's too much noise. Too much
Oh
noise.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And when I, you know, I talked to someone about that, like, what is that? You know, but I think it is just having that experience in a neighborhood where gun violence was rampant and it was there. And I think that much like soldiers that go to war, they have PTSD from that sound. I think that was one of the things that used to make me uncomfortable. But it's been years of dealing with it and understanding, like, okay, just if you need to protect yourself, you're gonna have to protect yourself.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing.
And how often do you go is the question.
So I don't go often enough now, but I was going quite regularly a couple years back, and considered getting a firearm and all of that, and then it just kind of fell off. Like during COVID, it just fell off.
That makes sense.
Here I am, I'm back again. You got me out. I don't know how this happened.
Yes. I can get you back out here again. Yes.
It's all good. It's all
Yeah,
good.
it was divine intuition here. You know, we got to make these things happen so you get over that hump and just keep it going. The good thing about guns, though, what I always like to tell people in this environment at the range, everybody who's coming here pretty much going to have life minds such as you. They're there to train. That's really it. Have fun, maybe, sure, but outside of that, usually no other intentions is usually in their mind, and more so just here to get more familiar with their firearms. So with that thought process, you're not having people here who with the intent of unaliving someone. You know, that's not usually the case. And you'll find that people in the gun community are some of the most friendliest people that you talk to. I mean, half the time you can come to a range and, hey, what is that you shooting? Can I shoot it? And they're like, yeah. So I mean, that's how the friendly this community is actually. And when you have different experience with firearms, making that connection to being in this space is different.
Right.
But if you do put it in that perspective, and especially considering like this location, it has range safety officers.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't go to a range without a range safety officer, honestly. Me personally, I'm just not that comfortable. I don't think I feel comfortable enough to allow someone else next to me shooting and they're not really that experienced, nobody watching their back. So for me, I'm going to a range with the range safety officer. So they're gonna be watching everybody else to make sure that I can just focus on my student or just focus on my craft. Yeah. So the one thing I like about this range though is it's clear. So you can actually see all the way there.
Yeah.
So, but not all ranges are like that. So that's the one thing that I would say that's also a plus for this particular location.
Okay.
So we're gonna work through it.
Yeah, I definitely can de-escalate. At least I've, used de-escalation in the past. But like my grandma could say, you don't bring no knife to a gunfight. So
Yes, exactly.
But I am going to choose words first. I
Yes.
will, if I'm able to.
Yeah.
That's
And
definitely
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. Because honestly, it's too many things to be concerned about. I have my babies I don't want to be apart from.
Yeah.
I ain't jail material. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm just not.
You.
I'm not. But don't test me.
That's right.
That's all I'm gonna say. Don't test me.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's
now, I mean, I got a little skill.
that you do. That you do. And it's one of those things, honestly, you will build on that skill the more you do it.
Yeah.
And that's the part. It'll become more familiar to you and it'll be not even something to think about. It'll just be a reaction to a situation. But good thing is you have your skills you currently have. You're going to put that in motion first. And if that don't work, then you got your backup plan.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll level up.
Yes. So I would like to ask you about the Hope Project specifically. How did that come about and what things do you guys focus on there?
Yeah, the Hope Project was born in DC at a church called New York Avenue Presbyterian Church.
Okay.
Excuse me, I was volunteering there for, I don't know, maybe a year or so. And my colleague that brought me in, his name is Doug Nowood. He just passed away this year in January.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. But he and we worked together on a lot of different, projects to get individuals that come down to the church for breakfast or even sometimes lunch in DC, and they come to the clothing closet in DC on Sundays. We wanted to figure out ways to get them involved, not just meet their needs, but to get them involved so that they could just feel like they were not just homeless individuals, but they were part of our community. They were our neighbors. They were our friends, our new friends. And so we used to come up with all these different ideas. And so one day, because I used to go up there and run every Sunday morning. I would run first thing in the morning about 6 o'clock. The doors would open about 7:30. So then I'd run inside about 7:30, get cleaned up real quick, throw on my clothes, and then I'm ready to serve everybody. And so a couple of times in line, people lined up outside and they'd be like, "Hey, where you at? Where you going, sis? Where you coming from, sis?" You know how it is, right?
Yes.
These, individuals be rapping to me and everything. I'm like, y'all come run with me. And I kind of just threw it out there one day. And one of the guys was like, "I'll run with you." I was like, "Of course he will, right? Sure you will, right?" So me and Doug was standing there that day and I said, "Doug, I don't know. I think I'm trying to get a running group together." And he was like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, with our visitors that are here." I said, "Because they see me every Sunday when I come down." So I kind of went back and forth with this a couple weeks. And then finally Doug was like, "You know what?" He would call me by my government name and say, "I think you should do it." And I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, let's do it." I said, "Well, what would the name be?" So we went over the name a couple different times, and finally, he asked me what it was that I really wanted to accomplish with it. And I said, "I just want to give people a reprieve because they're here asking for food. They're here asking for clothing. They come, they eat, they put their clothes on while we're standing here a lot of times. They wash up in the bathroom at this church while service is going on up top. And then they leave and they come back on Sunday." And I was like, but I can tell some of them look pretty healthy. They look pretty like they may have been in shape before. Some are interested in becoming more, fit. But their current situation, they live in a shelter. There's no physical fitness in a shelter. And so I said, I just want to give them a moment, right? Just a moment to just escape from all of it and just to be a part of something that I love, which is running. And I said, so that's it. He said, so you want to help him escape? I said, yeah, if only just for a few minutes.
Okay.
And literally, we were standing there, and I said, helping our people escape. That's what we're gonna do, the whole project. And so it started as a running project, and we kept the name. That was the acronym. Um, and I had these little booklets. Those that signed up to run with me to enter to this 5K and to earn a pair of shoes, like it was a whole thing. But I said, okay, I give him a little book, and we would run down to Freedom Plaza, sit out there for a little bit in DC, and they would write little messages in the book, whether it was something for me or just something for themselves. And then we collected and we run back to the church. And honestly, it was really allowing them 5 or 10 minutes just to escape from being someone stepping in line for homeless services. That it's really what it was.
That is amazing. That is a powerful story.
Yeah, it's honestly beautiful. I mean, I look at it now, like it really started in just such an innocent way. And I'm like, wow, think about what have we really done with that? We've done a lot with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely attended church. I definitely done a couple of outreach programs where we would go and feed the homeless and things like that. And I thought to myself before about whether or not I'd be able to be in that space. And I'm just like, I don't know. I think I can help here and there, but I don't think I could be there all the time.
I get it.
I'm like, it's just not. I don't think I have it in me. That's not my calling. I knew that at an early age, but I always knew I wanted to help people.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how. Yeah. So I was exploring different ways of how to help people, and that wasn't it. I met a couple people that were pretty cool though. I mean, for me, it's the mental health aspect of things. I am not the mental health person. Talking about feelings, discerning what's a threat, what's not a threat, things like that. And I'm just like, okay, no, thank you. I'm okay. I want to be with people who I don't have to second guess that you're trying to harm me or not. I need to know up front. Please.
Wow. Yeah.
If there's racism, I need racism to be right in my face.
Right.
I don't want the behind the scenes politics of it all, or someone that is in need of something and so they're trying to take from me because they don't have.
Sure.
And so I knew that place was not for me. Yes, I'll visit and I'll help from time to time. So let me know. I don't mind that.
I would love that.
But I definitely can't stand.
There's all sorts of ways to get involved. All kinds of ways. You can be behind the scenes, the front line, planning. I mean, so trust me, there are all sorts of ways that anybody can get involved with helping those that are in need, and needs vary. Some people are housed, some people are unhoused. No matter what, we all have needs. So
well, definitely be in
contact.
Yeah, definitely. And I definitely want to get my girls involved in that because they've expressed some ideas about helping others and things. I said, okay, well, we need to. Yeah. This has been on my list for about 4 years now, and I've not made any steps to it. So this was that we were meeting each other and having this conversation because this is going to stay on me, okay?
Yeah, I got
stay
you.
on me.
I got you.
So what I'd like to ask about your firearm experience today. Can you see that these type of things in a community, I feel like I've exposed you to shooting from a different aspect.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Did they see this before or after? I don't know.
During.
My gosh.
A little bit, we're going to focus on making sure you remember how to stand and hold the firearm before we even get into shooting. So we're not going to put that on just yet. So basically, the stance is really simple. It's usually more so you can actually stand this way and face it.
Stand this way and face you. Okay. Yeah.
So basically, shoulder length apart with the legs. Okay. Some people kind of do this isosceles position here, where they're bending their knees and at the waist they're going forward. Where some people actually take a step back and just kind of like a boxing stance, if you will, and push out with the arms. Okay. So which one have you seen to be more comfortable with in the past?
I think I've rested back on my leg before. Yeah. All right. I feel like that's the most natural one. I don't think I've done this before. Okay. Yeah. Maybe because my knees are bad.
Well, that could be it. That could be it. We make alterations, based on what everybody needs.
Yeah, these running knees. I was like,
I hear you on that. So let's go ahead and try to assume that position. Okay. Facing me.
Still facing you. Okay.
And push those arms fully out. Okay. Good. Great. And so it's really all about having a balance. So you might have to be a little bit wider with your foot placement there. And then what I'm going to do is just push on your arm. Sure. Don't let me move you.
Sure.
Okay. There you go. You
Okay,
see
there you go.
you saw it.
Okay,
You know,
yeah.
you moved
Okay,
in.
okay.
There you go. Perfect. You got it.
Okay.
You got it. And it's really just to absorb the recoil before the recoil even happens.
Okay.
You want to make sure that you have a good understanding of how your balance is to play a part in that. Because if you're already standing straight up, when you shoot, it's going to push you back. Yeah. If you're standing leaning into it, the recoil comes and it doesn't fade.
Okay.
I'm going to start with the 22 caliber. These guys. And with the 22, it's the smallest one. So you may already know there's some rifles that shoot this round as well. That's why it's called long rifle. Okay. It's actually made for the rifles.
Didn't know that.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yep, some of the big guns actually shoots these little rounds.
Shoots the 22. Okay.
And so this one doesn't have much recoil at all. It's very cute. Very cute. So I'm going to load for you this first time.
That's great.
So we have 2 rounds. Okay. You're going to check in here always to make sure that there's no ammunition. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and load, making sure our bullet is facing forward. I'll go ahead and close the slide. Now we're actually ready to shoot.
Okay.
Okay. So, because of the range rules, I really am not supposed to be on the table. So I'm going to hold it for you until you're ready.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
And put the middle finger all the way around.
Middle finger all the way around.
Now add the left.
And do it this way.
Perfect. And just get those thumbs into this place. Okay. And let it just rest on the side there and don't change.
Don't squeeze it too hard, right?
No, you don't have to squeeze it too hard, but just a nice firm hold. Okay, got it. Now you can come to what we call our rest position. And then you can relax right here. This is how you drop your shoulders. You take your breath. And when you're ready, you take your foot placement. Go ahead and begin your squat and push out. Foot placement. Push out. And line up your sight.
Kind of. Yeah.
Once you've gotten it, you can put your finger on the trigger and begin to slowly squeeze.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Okay. All right.
You got this.
We'll do this again. Okay. Place it. Slide.
Line up sight. Once you got your sight picture even, this rear sight is even with the front sight, you can begin to squeeze slowly.
Okay. Slow.
Yes. Just inch.
Okay. Ready?
Yep. Finger off the trigger. Come back here to our rest position. Drop your shoulders in your lap. How you feel?
I feel okay. It's okay.
That's good. All right. So now we just dip down just a little bit.
I saw.
It's all right. We're going to control it. I just want you to kind of get through this moment first.
Okay.
And this time I'm going to have you to shoot both rounds back to back.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and load this up for you. Okay. Checking to make sure I have no ammunition in there. Now we're ready to go.
I want to redo it. I want to really try to get this thing. So it's transition.
Good. Make sure you look through your sights. Get the sights even first before you begin to squeeze. Once you've gotten your sights even, you can go ahead and squeeze the trigger.
And it's back to that, right?
Yes. Not too fast though. Nice come through pace. If you're on the sight, don't look at the paper. Bend off the trigger. Down there. How do you feel about that one?
Better.
That's good. See, we're making progress.
I feel like I was a little more impulsive instead of thinking so much about it. Which I don't. Yeah, I just felt that.
There is a delicate balance between thinking too much and thinking just enough to be able to get this done.
Yeah.
So this is literally therapy for me. And for many other people, honestly. Believe it or not, I can come into a range and everybody's shooting and I'm zoning them out. Completely. Zoning them out and I'm just focused on what I'm doing.
Okay.
Because it's a skill. It's a sport. It literally is like any other sport. You run track, you play basketball, I don't know, swim, any sport, there's a certain level of focus that you have to do to be able to precisely do that craft. And that's no different than shooting.
Okay.
So, and that's why I said coming into this place, into a range, is actually a whole different thought process than what people use it for out in the streets. So that's how come I'm able to actually relax and like forget about all the worries of the kids, the husband, the business, the this.
Yeah.
All that's gone. None of that don't matter for an hour. Don't nobody bother me. I can't hear you if you call me anyway. So bye bye. So it works for me. I love that I had that time. Yeah, yeah. It's one of my spotters. I still need my spotter. I still actually am behind the curve right now, D. I just want to let you know I need my spotter. So that's one of those things that I love doing. I do love going through this book.
Yeah.
But shooting definitely is another therapy for me for sure. And that's one of the things I love about shooting because most of the time people have that whole negative, what we hear on the
Right.
media, thought process about firearms. And the other thing that we see a lot in about firearms is the politics of it all. And I know
Of
that you
course.
do deal with political things as
Yeah.
well. So I did want to ask you a little bit more about that. What type of things are you doing in the political world?
So right now, honestly, I'm just helping the candidates that are running that I truly believe in what they're running on, right? And so and I'm outspoken about those that maybe I don't align with because one, I do know that I have a voice and people are listening at times. And so I want to make sure I'm clear and not like on the fence. But right now, it really is getting behind the leadership and those that are running for office that maybe never have run before, but they know that they need to have a seat and a voice at the table. And if their like their platform align with my belief system, I'm there. So I'm doing a lot of support right now because it is time again for us to get back out to the polls for our local politicians, which I hope everyone is actively engaged in local, elections. But it is time for us to get engaged in that. And so I'm looking at candidates that are out here and those that are up for reelection, and I'm getting involved with them, helping to host and helping to sponsor and donating. Going to their. Hopefully, I'll be going around to any places that they're speaking and making sure that I'm connecting and asking the questions because I really want to know like what their views are on certain things that really matter to me. And politics as a whole. I want to know where people are. Which side of history are you on?
Exactly.
And I want to make sure that I can sleep at night. And so, what I'm doing right now with politics is really just seeing who is politicking and 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 I'm either standing with them, standing behind them, talking to my community about these issues and about who's running and what they're standing for. Um, or I'm speaking about, I just can't get behind them. I'm sorry, So I'm really honest and open about that right now,
Well,
especially
good.
locally. Yeah.
That's good. I mean, honestly, there's so many things out here in the politic world, political world. Sorry, I'm not a fan of politics at all.
Right.
Okay, because I'm a very like in your face type of person. I'm literally either I believe or I don't believe, or it's black, it's white. It's no in between for me, really, for a lot of situations and issues. And so, a lot of the underhand type of things that happens in the political world, and you have this face, but that person is actually behind scenes. I don't like those type of things. So I'm not in that world for that reason. Now, what I will say is, as I've gotten older, I've come to the terms of understanding that it's extremely, extremely important for me to vote. Yeah. That's number one. And it is also very much more important to vote for my local versus like the president or whatnot. Yeah. Although I vote for it all, basically. Yeah. And just keeping an eye on what those politics are as far as the different laws that they're trying to pass, whatever bills they're trying to pass, because it really affects our day to day life. Sure. More than what people want to give it credit for. Yeah. And I have kids coming up. I'm just like, really, I deal with guns. It's another major issue for me. And right now, and I know one of the things that I've seen, and I'm pretty sure you know very well what's going on with that. Our president has mandated basically the mayor of DC to clean up the street of the homeless people. Yeah. And I'm like, what? Yeah. How are we going to, what do you mean? Yeah. So I know this is something that's been brought to the front lines of your work. For sure. What type of things are you guys trying to implement to help with this or push against, or is there any action at this point that you can speak of?
Well, that's in DC. And so that's in DC. I'm in Virginia. However, what goes on in DC can trickle down to us, right? So, I think what I'll say on that is if you don't understand the layout of the land, then you can easily just voice your opinion of what should happen.
Exactly.
But if you don't truly understand how that city dynamic is, you won't understand that there's not enough shelter. There's not enough safe shelter. There's not enough places for anyone to go. There's mental illness running rampant. There's illness running rampant. You cannot put that many people in communal spaces without having an outbreak of everything and all the things.
Yeah.
So you have to be more strategic. Yes, something should be done because we've always known that.
Right.
But because of everything I mentioned in the beginning, we know that some of the sometimes the safety for some of the individuals that are street homeless is being street homeless.
Right.
Um, when you have individuals that have certain backgrounds, criminal backgrounds, they cannot go but to a limited amount of um, buildings to stay, right? Shelters. So someone that is a sex offender cannot go to, let's say, 10 of the 13 shelters. So when you don't understand that, it's easy for you to just,
Yeah.
and but not realizing the bigger problem that you're about to create. And so it's unfortunate that it's happening like this.
Exactly.
Because the more you push, what happens is for Maryland and for Virginia is we're going to catch the overflow, and we don't have any place for them to go either.
Wow.
So we're just creating more problems.
Yeah, that's a really sad, unfortunate situation because when I first heard that, I was like, what?
It's a dangerous situation.
I felt like that's going to cause an uproar, honestly. First of all, I mentioned my little time of serving the homeless was in DC. I didn't mention that.
Right.
And when I tell you,
I get it.
they got to fight. Yeah. They're going to fight.
Yeah.
This is people.
It's survival.
It's survival. Yes, they're going to fight. This is going to be a serious uproar. So my thing is, how is it supposed to be implemented, and who's going to come here and try to make sure this happens? So what you mean to tell me you're going to start bringing the National Guard or whatnot out here to get out people out the streets? Like, come on. I mean, and many are there for mental health. That's one big thing, and then others is financial. But then you have some that they're veterans that have had some mental health, and then you have some that they kind of chose a homeless. Very few chose the homeless situation because it was a freedom for them.
Absolutely.
So, and I'm like, and that was very surprising for me to learn. Helping someone, I was serving someone, and having a conversation, and they explained, "Hey, I got a job, but this is my life because this is what I want to do with my life." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, touche." So, but this is definitely a really big problem, and I really hope that it can be sorted out a little better than what it seems like it's going in the direction of doing.
It's definitely a triggering spot for me because you have the aging population that are homeless. You have the LGBTQ, so on and so on. Yeah, you have that whole population that's homeless. You have individuals with mental health that are homeless. And when you don't think about the facility that you're about to put them in, um, well, where can a trans individual stay if now you also take the facilities and you make them either male or female, and you say it's not okay for DEI, I'll use that, for them to be in a space that because they identify as one over the other. Well, now you're creating harm for them because the world is cruel. And so that's what I'm saying. So when you start unraveling all these things, you're not thinking about the population that you're just about to say, nope, they got to come off the street and they got to go into a place. It puts a lot of burden on us, the facility, to try to figure out how to house and keep people safe,
Right.
and meet their needs. And so I just, everything could be, we can do better, no matter. what decisions we have to make. Some decisions are really tough, but I believe that whenever we take a moment and we really think things through, we put the right people at the table that are more strategic and they understand the lay of the land and the population that you're serving and the demographic. When you really get all of that and you put all that into some type of consideration pool, you can make better decisions. And I don't think that's what's happening politically when it comes to bringing the homeless population from outdoors indoors.
Yeah.
In such a
Rush like that.
Yeah.
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 And I would agree with you. I mean, honestly, I feel like that's pretty much every area of politics sometimes, and most often than not. You have somebody who's not in that situation making those
Absolutely.
choices.
That's why it's
And I'm
important to have the right people at the table
yeah.
in every environment. We can't talk about gun legislation without NRA at the table.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Imagine we're talking about gun legislation and the only people at the table are IT individuals that don't shoot guns.
Exactly.
It's like, what?
Yes.
So it's important to have all of us at the table.
Yeah. All right. So let's try this again. We're going to do this with 3 rounds this time.
Oh, wow. You're going up.
We're going up. I'm never going to keep you stagnant. We're always going to push you to the next thing, okay? All right. So those first shot was down here. Still was on the target, though. And the other one came just above on the right hand side.
All right.
So you can pick it up.
Okay.
Take a look to make sure there's no ammunition.
Yep. More ammunition.
Go ahead and look. And then you can pull the lever down or you can rack it back. It's up to you.
Pull the lever down.
Yep. Like it.
Okay.
When you're ready, you have it lined up evenly. You can begin to squeeze. Good. Keep it out in sight and squeeze again. Back in sight and squeeze very slowly this time. There you go. Finger off the trigger. Down down. Great job. You got it.
I didn't see it at all.
You got it. You got it. Really? Let's bring that in. That very last shot, you said, I'm not this side. You got it.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Yes. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Like, oh, I'm not going to hit the bullseye. I'm not going to worry about it, but you got it.
It's like, it's all good. I'll just, okay. All right.
So now you know you can do it. Now we got to keep doing it. She's like, why?
Okay.
I can't speak enough in my field of education how much more important it is for the education, but not only that, the experience piece. And that's why we have programs that NRA does, like the Women on Target program.
Okay.
So, and it's geared towards women, obviously, that hits the name, but it's really because women are becoming more involved in firearms. You're having more divorce happen, and you're having women outliving men, and all these type of things where women are single out here and they're, raising their kids by themselves. And so more women are getting involved with how to protect themselves. And we have this program out here that NRA has created that's helping women get that tangible hands-on experience, but also the knowledge. So you start in the classroom with some PowerPoint presentation and explaining this and that, and then we take you out to the range and let you get some hands-on experience. And so it ties those two things together. And so many times before helping with that class, I've noticed and I've seen women's like just something switch. It's like, oh, I was afraid of this thing for what? Like, I can do this. Like, okay. Yeah. And that's what it's for. It's not really for me to say, oh, rah, 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 I'm the biggest and I'm the baddest. It's not for that. It's really for me to defend myself if someone were to attack me. And this is my last resort. Yeah. So when they make that little switch in their brain, that light bulb goes off like, okay, so it's a different purpose for this than what I originally thought. Yeah. So I love that class because it allows people to do that. But you won't have that experience until you try to learn it. So, yeah, I mean, having politicians know that thing that they're really trying to make a decision on would only make sense. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why people try to be the subject matter expert on things and they're not.
I'm certainly not. Yeah.
Yes.
I stay in my lane.
Exactly. Definitely. So what I'd like to ask right now is we wrap this conversation up. How can people get in contact with Miss Queenie? How can they help?
So you can look me up on, I'm all over social media. I am Queenie Love. That's Queenie. Love. You can look me up on Instagram. I'm there. I'm on TikTok. That's my little place where I just have fun. Uh, and on Facebook, you can look up the Hope Project. My website is coming up. It's going to be I'm Queenie Love, and they're still working out the rest of that handle. But on Facebook, you can look up the Hope Project, and I think it might say the Hope Project Cares. I almost think that's what it said, the Hope Project Cares.
Okay.
But I would love to have individuals to go and follow that page, because, if you're local in the, local Virginia, Northern Virginia area, we cook like four different times a year, sometimes more, but four different times a year for one of our local shelters in Woodbridge.
Okay.
I cook, I have a group with Still Horses, motorcycle club, and I put it on there. We get together and we do like a big jeans drive. We prepare dinner and breakfast up in DC at the church I mentioned, which is New York Avenue Presbyterian Church, and they need volunteers. So if you ever want to volunteer on a Sunday, uh, but in New York Avenue Presbyterian Church, we will provide four Sunday morning breakfasts for them, and it's a whole to do. It's like 150 to 200 people that we feed that morning. So it's an entire situation that's going on. It's like, 15 to 20 hands in there, and we're just prepping this food and serving this food. It's amazing. Bring your groups out if you ever want to volunteer. It's early morning, but definitely come out. So on the Hope Project page, you can find all that. When my website come up, you'll be able to find all the different events that I'm involved in, speaking engagements. If I'm hosting or moderating, or if I'm launching, I'm a podcaster, so if I have anything going on with the podcast, all of that will be there. But the Hope Project and or I am Queenie Love on all social media, you can find me, hook up with me, send me a message. I mean, if I can help anyone, let me know, and I'm there for that too. And yeah,
That's
just check
great.
me out.
And yes, it was. You got that better. Okay. All right, so I think we're ready to progress to the next phase.
To what? No, what would progress into now? I know it ain't that.
Not yet, not yet. We're gonna get there before we leave, though.
Oh, it's okay if we don't ever get there. I don't know what that is.
Trust me, you'll find that being
I'm intimidated.
You'll find that one being a lot easier, honestly. It looks intimidating, but rifle shooting is actually a lot easier.
Oh my Jesus.
Now, I want to show that you actually got 2 shots in the same hole.
Wow.
So that's amazing.
Okay.
That's really good. That's giving you some consistency there, and that's exactly what we want.
Oh my God.
So sometimes we find ourselves just overthinking it, expecting the recoil, but with the 22, we don't have the recoil.
Okay.
So we're overdoing some things. Now we're going to give you a little recoil, and they'll probably even out for you. All right, so now we're going to use our 9mm. The 9mm is this particular one, just happens to be a bigger firearm than the last one you shot. But bigger doesn't always mean more power.
Okay.
All those other guns over there, they're also 9mm as well. And you can see some of them are smaller.
Okay.
Okay. So
this is the one we're going with.
This is the one we're going with right now. And actually, a full-size firearm is actually the most practical as far as controlling the recoil.
Okay.
The smaller it gets, the more you feel that little kick a little bit more. Okay. Go ahead.
Just like this?
Yep. Very good. You got it.
Okay.
All right, so now let's load. You definitely have great control.
Dear God. Okay. All right.
All right, so you can go ahead and pick it up. Check to make sure you have no ammunition in there.
There's nothing.
Good. And now you can go ahead and get that left hand there as that support hand. Push your arms out when you're ready. Line up that sight. When you're ready, squeeze slow. That is how you do it. Yes, but you did it. Look what you did. Wait, you got
My
this.
heart is like beating out of my chest.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
And I think it's more of a shock because nobody else is here.
wow.
But all the other guns going off when you're in the range with other people. Yeah. But that was perfect. Miss, I don't know if I'm going to
Oh,
hit.
we
Right?
good. We don't even have to do this anymore. We can just. I can't do that over.
Okay.
That is.
It's wherever your comfort is. I'm fine with that.
That's a lot.
It can be until you get used to it.
I even saw like the fire that I didn't pay attention to it with the 22 at all.
Yeah, you do see it more in this.
Okay. Because
yeah, it's not just you. You definitely see it more.
Oof.
Yeah.
Like, oh God,
this one definitely has more of a muzzle flash, but again, it's more about you getting acclimated to shooting any firearm.
I love you use that technical term, muzzle flash. Y'all hear me? I said fire.
It's okay. It's okay.
The fire was on though. Okay.
I mean, you're in line. You're right.
Flash. I love that. If I don't remember anything else today, I'm going to remember muzzle flash.
Good, good. I'm all about the learning. We're progressing here.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I mean, it's up to you. If you want to continue to try to shoot this a few more, or you think you're out, you don't want to do no more.
That took a lot.
It can.
And that took a lot. Like, okay.
What was it about it that took a lot?
Well, probably the anticipation. Like I already knew that I know a bit more about knives. I know it's definitely more powerful to me, right, when I'm going to fire it. And I think I had this anticipatory kind of feeling that I was like, okay, we already know how this is going to go, So I could feel that anticipation creeping up in me.
Okay.
Which is probably why I went on and just said, just fire it. Because I expected it to have this kick and be louder. And so I've been trying to prepare myself for that sound.
Well, I have a solution to that.
What's that?
It's all about focusing on that trigger. That was better. And now you want to be focused on that when you shoot. That is going to be all the world of a difference, because now you're in full control of when that gun actually goes off, versus anticipating, okay, I put my finger on the trigger, it's going to go off yet? I squeezed a little bit, it's going to go off yet? So now you'll know exactly the second that it's going to go off. You want to try again?
Okay, one more.
Yay. Let's do it.
One more. I have one more of these of you.
Let's try it. I'm loving it.
No, yeah, of course. This is therapy for you. You need therapy after this. I gotta call my to Davina.
All right, we're facing fears today.
Oh my gosh,
are we? Yes.
You definitely are.
Yes. All right, so I'm checking to make sure there's no ammunition. I'm loading here, and now we're ready to rock.
All right.
So she fully extend those arms and you push them. Welcome. So I will say that being in this environment today is extremely quiet.
Oh my gosh.
So you did not have the time to really process the sound of the gun until you're actually shooting.
Right.
So you're trying to deal with two things at once. One, I'm wielding the firearm. Two, this loud noise just happened.
Yeah.
But normally when you're in a range, when it's during operation hours, you'd have other shooters shooting at the same time. Yeah. So as soon as you walk in, you're already starting to probably do this. But by the time you start to shoot, you'll kind of just come down a little bit and calm down, because it'll start to become normal.
Yeah.
So I can totally see how this can be very unsettling. Not used to hearing the sound, and then now you hearing this big sound.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I grew up on a farm. And so rifles and really big guns, hunting rifles and things like that, were normal for that purpose.
Yeah.
But then years later, my mother, when I finally lived with my mom, she moved me into the hood. And it was violence. Yeah. Right. And so that was like, wait, it was too much. So unlike you, I didn't need the lullaby. I wanted to get out. I needed to be back in the crickets, because I grew up on a farm, which was silent. Right.
Yep.
And then when I decided to start coming back like to the range, or like even experiencing the range, I realized that what triggered me was the sound from my teenage childhood. And I was just like, oh, this is a lot. Yep. Reminded me of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Just gonna put that out there. But it reminded me during the 90s, it was so
Yes.
bad at that time in certain communities. And so I was like, oh, I got to go to the range and get over that fear because this is not still the Murchison Road. This is not still Shaw Road. But I do know, and y'all probably think I'm joking. I'm calling my therapist for real because literally that was what I had to do is like talk through like what is going on with this noise thing for me.
Right.
But it was from that moment of time staying there in that environment. So
yeah, it's definitely triggering.
Yeah,
And
because
it-
when
it
I come
happens
out
a lot.
here, it's noisy, and I'm like, okay, just breathe through it. Just breathe through this. You got to get through this.
And you're
you know.
exactly right.
Yeah.
That's the way you have to approach it.
Yeah.
That was perfect advice from your therapist to help you get through that. Honestly.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I always do with anybody that I'm doing training with, especially ones that are feeling a little fearful, that has some traumatic experience or whatnot. It's really just baby stepping. And while we're at the range with other people shooting, it's easier for me to get the person to just focus on this. Believe it or not, they'll start tuning out everything else and just focus on this. I'm saying do this, they'll do that. Do this, do that. Do this, do that. And that's honestly be treated like a sport. Get those little meticulous things together and eventually everything else will tune out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be all right. But
It'll be
you
fine.
see you could do this.
I see I can do it.
Yes. Oh God. Just one. Just one. Come on, you can do it. Just one. Only if you want to, for real though.
Just one.
Just one.
Okay, let me hold it without all the stuff in it. I just want to know what it feels like. I can pick it up like this?
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't know what to do with this.
So the right hand is the same as normal. Yep. Okay. And then the left hand comes into this rest area here.
Ah, okay.
And it goes right into your shoulder. Yep. And you would rest your cheek somewhere along this space here. Everybody's a little different.
Which eye are you looking through?
You're looking through this rear circle, focusing on the red tip, and you're putting that where you want the bullet to go.
Oh God, I can't do this. This is too much.
No worries.
I would need more time to process what. That's a lot. Oh my God.
I hear you. No worries. No,
we can talk
pressure, honestly.
It's so interesting. There's so much going on here that I need to understand this because the noise in itself is already like bonkers. But there's so much going on with this.
Yeah,
this
I mean, the thing is, it's all about your comfort, though. In the podcast, we didn't talk about that at all. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. No,
I meant to, but let's jump into that real quick. What is that about, and how can we find the podcast?
Yeah, Disrupting the Silence podcast. It's wherever you listen to your podcast at, and it is really, it's just like old-fashioned talk radio, but no, I interview amazing people. They tell me their stories. They tell me what their life has been, where it's going, where it's been. I talk about subjects and topics that are sometimes uncomfortable for people. I love to inform and educate. I love to bring a voice to maybe things that I love your show is Shh. So I'd love to bring voice to things that we're kind of quiet about, a little bit embarrassed about. And sometimes it can be from politics to, I don't know, like relationships or even intimacy with women, right? Women, we don't talk about our own intimate moments that we enjoy, sexually. And I'm like, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's educate people because our girls need to know what it's like to be a woman, right?
Right.
So we talk about menopause. I mean, I'll do segments on prostate health for men. So it's a place that you can come to find a little bit about a lot of things. I do bring subject matter experts. I do bring people that it's just their opinion or their experience. But whatever it is, you're going to come, you're going to get something. I hope you leave feeling lighter, feeling seen, laughing, feeling welcomed, and feeling like you're not alone in this situation. So yeah, Disrupting the Silence podcast. Check us out.
I love it. Definitely. I would definitely check it out. All right. Well, that wraps up this segment. But we got one little thing before you leave today.
Oh, boy.
Yes, I know. But it's okay. All right.
Okay.
We're going to breathe through it. Through it. All right. Putting you on the spot.
I feel it.
So, welcome to our quick little segment of Shoot or Shh. So, I'm going to ask you 6 questions, and it's up to you if you want to just shoot the answer, or you want to shh and just plead the fifth.
Okay.
Okay. So, question number 1. As a community worker, can you describe a time that you may have scratched your head a little bit and think right out, like, this is ghetto? I don't think I'm going to try this again.
You know what? That's funny. No, I don't think I've ever thought that's something like a community thing that I'm actually helping with. Oh.
Anything.
One did pop up. A little ghetto.
Okay.
It wasn't really my vibe.
I hear you. We're going to shush on that.
Yeah, well, shush.
Okay.
Yeah, it was too recent. It's too recent. Yeah.
Okay. As a public speaker, can you discuss a time when you had to maybe command the audience because they just were not paying attention to the event?
Yes, actually, I do remember a situation like that. It was just at a different, I was in a different role in Alexandria, actually. And the room was, I don't know if it was because of who I was, or maybe they were just a little bit anxious because they were ready to eat, and that was an issue. But yeah, I remember I literally had to go around. It was kind of a smaller space, but I literally had to go around to like the first 5-6 tables with the microphone and start, like calling people out, and of course allowing them to feel welcome and seen still, but bringing the attention, like, okay, I need them to be quiet and focus on this. And I wound up doing it from table to table to table.
Wow.
And then I remember going back up front, I was like, okay, so now that I got your attention, and I remember thinking in my head, like, what in the world is going on here? Yeah.
Well, see, I'm glad you're that person, because I'd be like, shut up! Everybody, shut up!
The person that was co-hosting with me, they were like, just tell them to be quiet, because they were, but I was like, I'm just gonna get right in their face. And I did the right in your face thing, which, yeah, it's pretty funny now. Look back. There's a video, and you can see me just kind of going from table to table. And of course, the video, you don't know what's going on, but I laugh now when I see it. Like, yeah, I couldn't.
That is too funny.
I have to corral the people, but
yes. All right. So, question number 3. Mm-hmm. Have you noticed someone helping others in the community just to be on the ground?
Yeah, I noticed it.
Oh my God.
And listen, you know what? So this is my truth about that. Even for the whole project, I used to show everything. And my reason for it was to get people moving and encouraged and inspired. Mm-hmm. But then others gave so much flack, not necessarily to me, they did not, but I would see people give flack to others that were doing it. And so I was like, well, not everyone is doing it for like their own gratification. They want to say that I'm a good person, and they're a total jerk, behind the camera, until I saw it happen. And it caused me to show less of what the whole project was doing.
Right.
Because I just didn't want to be perceived that way. Mm-hmm. But then I've changed a little because I know who I am.
Right.
I know where my heart is at, right? I know my intention is not to show or to exploit any of the individuals that I'm serving. It's really to show the work that we're doing and to say, you can do it too.
Yeah.
But when I see people that do it, it just causes me to feel...
I bet.
And it's not my business, right?
Yeah.
But when I'm in close proximity with those that I do see do it, I definitely mention, why we're doing this. It's not for our own glory.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you put that out there, because obviously I see it all the time. I'm watching social media, and I'm seeing people do things, and I'm like, you just did that for the camera.
They'll literally stage. They will stage a giving opportunity, and I'm like, it's exploitation. I don't like it. Yeah, I don't. So don't do that.
Yeah, please don't. And I will second what you said though before about, we know. When I met you, I knew that you had a heart in this and that you care about people. So if you're recording things, you definitely don't need to feel that anybody might think that.
Yeah.
Because it's genuine. Yeah. You can tell you actually care and you want to help people. Yeah. So I have question number 4.
Okay.
Have you ever had to call someone out for that exploration that did not go well?
That didn't go well? No. I've been tactful. Now they may have said something about left, but it's not my business. But I understand it's not necessarily my business, but this is the business of life that we're all in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it came from a good place. I think they received it with an understanding of what the optics were.
Right.
And I think in that situation, one in particular I shared, I know this is probably not what you want it to look like.
Right.
But, and I think it was received well. It didn't.
That's good. Didn't blow up.
Anything else? No. And we still talk today, so.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, it's definitely okay. All right. So, question number 5.
Okay.
Has there ever been a time where you felt like you just wanted to quit?
Yes. Yeah, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
What keeps you going?
I'm telling you, it's like God created me to do this madness. I don't even understand it. I mean, I literally can sit things out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get right back up and I'm back doing something else that is, you know what I mean? Like,
I know.
I can choose to not do over here and I'm over here. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, yes, I've felt like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. And
and it's just right there again in your life.
It feels right to do. It feels wrong to get in myself and say I'm not. That feels weird to me. Like I don't feel like I'm being my authentic self. I feel like I'm taking something away from who I am when I try to. I'm not going to be, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do it. Don't call me. I'm not going to volunteer. I don't want to go. It's weird, because what feels more natural is a thing you'll do whether someone is watching you or not. What feels more natural is a thing you'll do whether you're paid for it or not. And that's what I have to always be honest about, is I will go and feed my community whether anybody is there with me or not. I'm going to make sure you're good. So, yeah, I want to give up all the time, but I can't. It's really
well, that's blessings. That's blessings that you don't give up. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm thankful. I'm honestly thankful that that's in me, even though sometimes it can be burdensome. I mean, we're only one person.
Yeah.
But God has blessed me to have an amazing community.
That's great.
So
I'm really glad that you are in this position and you're helping people, because they really need people like you, honestly. So, question number 6.
Okay.
All right. So, what's the saddest thing? What is the shadiest thing that you've seen someone do for profit?
Oh, I've seen a few, but one of the things that jumped right out is collecting gift cards allegedly for the individuals that were going through experiencing homelessness during the holiday season, just to use it for themselves.
Oh no, come on,
that irritated me to no end.
I bet. That is horrible. And this is
to no end. No. Yeah, seriously.
This is the reason why people are afraid to help others.
Absolutely, they're jaded over it. And yeah. And I mean, not even, and I'm not advocating for anybody taking a portion of anything. I'm not doing that at all, but I am saying this. If you collect, I'm just below ball, if you collect $500 in gift cards, you don't take the whole $500 in gift cards for yourself.
No.
You get what I'm saying? And I remember trying to, and that's not the number it was, but I remember trying to understand, like, okay, were you paying yourself a percentage? Like, what? Because you took and used all. Oh no. Those gift cards never made it to those kids for the holiday.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that's the shadiest, and that still sticks with me to this day. Now that I did say something about, because it was a group I was involved with, but that was the shadiest. Now that's not what happens in every case at all, but you're going to have bad actors in every population, right? Every group, there's going to be a bad actor. So yeah, that's the shadiest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you made it through Shoot or Shush.
And
you did awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching Shoot the Shh. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. If you would like to be a guest on our show, please send us an email at shoottheshhh@gmail.com. I hope you enjoyed this interview. If you're like our guest, maybe a little nervous or unsure about firearms, but interested in learning, consider taking the NRA Women's on Target course near you. And if you're in the DC, Maryland, or Virginia area, reach out to us at Trouble Defense for training. Fear keeps us from so much in life. Don't allow it to cost you your life. See you next time.
Shh.